Hello everyone, my name is Terrence and I'm the Director for the Bachelor of Landscape Architecture program here in NUS. In this presentation, I will share how we teach our students to design outdoor spaces that connect nature, place, and people. This includes information on how landscape architecture is being taught in NUS, student activities, admission requirements, some frequently asked questions, and how you can find out more about our program. Most people are familiar with the term architecture, which entails the design of buildings. But what about landscape architecture? I'm sure that you are aware of the increasing efforts around the world to preserve natural spaces, conserve resources, and protect the environment. Landscape architects play an important role in shaping urban and natural environments, considering ecological systems, cultural contexts, and human experiences. Our projects can span across multiple scales, from the design of parks and gardens to the planning of towns and cities, even informing infrastructure and urban development. The NUS Landscape Architecture Bachelor's degree is a multidisciplinary program that combines art, science, and environmental stewardship to create outdoor spaces that are not only aesthetically pleasing, but also sustainable and functional. The three key areas that underpin our BLA program are first, on the cultivation on socio-ecological sensitivities, evidence-based design with a robust scientific knowledge, and a good grasp on technologies and techniques. In other words, we design for nature, place, and people with data. This is a 4-year direct honors program. Students with relevant polytechnic diplomas can skip the first year. Upon graduation, students may seek accreditation with the Singapore Institute of Landscape Architects, or SILA, after 3 years of practice. Students may also opt to read for their Master of Landscape Architecture here in NUS. The Master of Landscape Architecture program is a 2-year program, but graduates from the Bachelor of Landscape Architecture program can skip the first year. In the 4 years of study here in NUS, students will have the opportunity to learn about various aspects of landscape architecture. In addition to designing spaces, students will gain exposure to landscape architecture and ecological theory, mapping and construction techniques. To gain practical experience, students can sign up for internships with landscape architecture firms. In the 4th year of study, students can opt for either a specialization in landscape studies, landscape practice, or both. Now here in NUS, we strongly believe that students have the ability to excel and unleash their creativity when given the opportunity. Our approach is to curate the learning experience by connecting them with nature, place, and people. We believe in working hand in hand with the natural environment, but the reality is that we are losing these spaces due to urbanization. How then can we design and plan to preserve and to augment natural spaces? Courses touching on planting design and horticulture, as well as ecology, help students understand the framework and extent to which they can intervene as landscape architects. Landscape architects work on projects ranging from a small garden to large cities. There is tremendous variation in scale, and the corresponding approaches to describing and analyzing these spaces are different. To understand the place and space, students are introduced to courses and skills such as map creation and analysis using geographical information system platforms, as well as landscape construction techniques. Having considered the natural elements and spatial requirements, we do not forget that we are more often than not designing for people to use these spaces. We ensure that students have a good understanding for designing for people by emphasizing on researching into who actually uses the space, charting their daily activity patterns, and understanding their needs. Students will also be exposed to landscape architectural theories and histories to complement their design education. A key difference between conventional university programs consisting of lectures, tutorials, and maybe lab work is that we have this special course called Design Studio every semester. In this course, students get to spend all their time working on their design. This is also where they hone their design and presentation skills. For the BLA program, we have carefully structured the design studio sequence to prepare students for a career in landscape architecture. In the first year, students will get to express themselves freely, explore and define what landscape means to them. They are taught to appreciate landscape elements and basic concepts of space and scale. In the second year, students will learn how to read an existing landscape and to explore how it can be improved. The site can be in NUS campus, along the Singapore River, or outside a row of shophouses. In this image, you can see that the student designed the space outside of an existing art school, reacting to the distinctive forms for the design. In the second semester, students will also work on a project that deals directly with the residents of the area. Workshops and surveys will be conducted with the residents to understand how best to improve the landscape to suit their needs. In the third year, students are challenged to adopt digital tools to conceptualize, develop, and produce their design. This is where things get interesting, and we let students speculate on how the future can be like with new tools for design interaction, such as using AR or VR technologies, AI-generated images and videos, and creating games for their designs to foster better interaction between users. This also includes simulation work to help students understand the impact of their design proposals on the environment. In the fourth year, students get to travel. This is where students make use of their experience and skills acquired over the past 3 years to tackle more complex landscape issues at a larger scale. Now we understand that Singapore is a small island and quite well developed. So in year 4, we bring students out to Singapore to explore urgent issues plaguing major cities in the region. This includes looking at issues of flooding in big cities or marginalized communities in developing nations. The places we go varies every semester depending on the design tutors, so we never go to the same place twice. The NUS Bachelor of Landscape Architecture program offers 2 specializations and 1 minor relating to landscape architecture. For the landscape practice specialization, the focus is to prepare students who wish to enter the practice of landscape architecture. The courses are designed to bolster their understanding on how to design and build actual landscape projects upon graduation. The landscape studies specialization, on the other hand, seeks to deepen and broaden our students' understanding of more advanced topics in landscape architecture beyond just practice. Students will get to choose several unrestricted electives touching on topics such as political ecology, urban ecology, and design. What can you look forward to as a BLA student? Well, firstly, we will provide opportunities for you to discover and to showcase your talent. Because we work closely with students, we will get to know their interests and strengths. This makes it possible for us to tweak our instruction to play to the strengths of each student. Take Clara, for example. She was already running a small business selling air-dried clay accessories and trinkets. With her skill and experience in clay modeling, we encouraged her to use that as the medium to express her design ideas. Because she was so familiar with the material, Design Studio became a fun and enjoyable session. Secondly, we provide ample opportunities for students to learn from beyond the classroom. There are many overseas programs that BLA students can sign up for, such as NUS student exchange programs, overseas colleges, summer and winter programs, as well as international workshops. Thirdly, BLA students will get to be involved in live projects that serve specific communities and contribute to national development. For instance, BLA students have been involved in design studios looking into the Long Island project, as well as the North-South Corridor project. We work very closely with government agencies such as URA, HDB, and LTA to explore design solutions that have a high chance of being implemented eventually. This also brings BLA students closer to potential employers. Financial support is available for BLA students in the form of scholarships from both NUS as well as leading government agencies. Okay, so what do you need to know to apply to the NUS Landscape Architecture program? Here are some useful tips. Many potential candidates often wonder if landscape architecture is right for them. Since our approach to teaching is connecting nature, place, and people, you will need to be comfortable with these themes in general. It would be great if you are an outdoors person, someone who is already interested in nature and environmental issues. You do not need to have skills in drawing or plants to sign up. The other key attribute is to be able to communicate your ideas well. This can be done visually or verbally, but either way, you are expected to stand in front of a crowd to express and defend your ideas. It gets easier over time, and it helps if you have a keen eye for things and are open to exploring new ideas. If you do apply for the program, chances are that we will invite you for an interview and to submit your portfolio. This portfolio need not be on landscape or design. It can be anything that tells us more about you and your interest in the program, design, nature, or the outdoor environment. Over the years, we have seen examples such as jewelry design, crochet, henna work, poems, digital art, and photography. Please feel free to express yourself here. Here are the requisites for admission. For detailed admission requirements, please refer to the webpage for more information. We hope that you will consider joining us, and we will be happy to answer any questions you may have. Here are two commonly asked questions. The first being, what is the difference between a bachelor's degree in landscape architecture and architecture? The first would be the scale of our work. Architects work on buildings and landscape architects work on areas outside buildings, from gardens to parks, to townships to cities. Second would be indoors versus outdoors. Architects work on the facade and interior to the nuts and bolts, and landscape architects looks into the greenery, ecological systems, and climate. Third, urban versus natural. Architects work on building and the built environment, whereas landscape architects work on outdoor, green spaces, peri-urban, rural, forested, and rivers. Is drawing a requisite skill in order to be considered for admission? Not at all. Most of our current students have no formal art education. This is a degree in landscape architecture, not fine arts. We also do a lot of digital drawing and compositing with Photoshop these days, so there is no issue. We provide workshops for students who are totally new to this so that they can pick up the skills at their own pace. Our graduates have gone on to join the workforce as landscape architects, designers, as well as government agencies such as URA and LTA. As you can see, there are plenty of opportunities here, and the reason is really because of how there is more emphasis on the environment and sustainability in everything we do these days. Resources are limited, and the urbanscape has to be better designed to protect its inhabitants. But simply acknowledging that fact is not enough. We need to be able to act on it. This program will prepare you to act on it and to make it a valuable contribution to improving our environment. If you have any specific questions, please feel free to contact us directly. We are also active on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Our landscape architecture student body, the Landscape Architecture Collective or LAC, is also on TikTok. Or go to this website, ugl.sg. This is a blog where we share all landscape architecture related activities. To see how life is like as a landscape architecture student at NUS, check out the post on your left. You can see videos of what the students go through from years 1 to 4. For more details, we encourage you to visit our program website where you will find additional resources and information. To find out more about other CDE programs, please scan the second QR code. We look forward to welcoming you to the CDE.